babe, I tried calling, but your phone went straight to voicemail, so I'm guessing it's dead or you're busy or something. Anyway, if you get this message, I just wanted to let you know that I finished work early today. My boss overstaffed the place, so I said I'd go home to even out the numbers, so I'm heading home, and I guess I'll see you when I get there, or if you're out, I'll see you when you get there. Oh, also, because we've got, like, the whole day, I might have booked a little surprise for us to enjoy. It is an overnight stay, so you'll have to pack a bag, but it'll definitely be worth it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You don't need to worry about the kids. I've asked my mom to watch them for tonight, so it'll just be me and you. Something I can't wait for, because it's definitely been a while since we've been alone. Well, let me know when you've read this message. We've got to get to the place for check-in before 8, so if we can get off as quickly as possible, that'll be good. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Andrew, how dare you do that? Do you even understand how rude you just were? Andrew?
I'm the rude one? Well, I'm so sorry. I'll just let you get back to cheating on me then.
What? Well, I mean, look, it's not like I planned for this to happen. I especially didn't think you'd barge in on us like you did, which was extremely rude and awkward, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next time I'll knock and let you know that I'll wait for you downstairs, shall I? Maybe I'll even bring a bottle of wine or something so we can all have a big laugh about it, yeah?
Geez, there's no reason for you to be so sarcastic. I'm not trying to be rude to you, am I?
I think I'm allowed to feel angry and upset at the fact that I just discovered my wife cheating on me.
Why should you feel upset? You never buy me the things I want or take me to the places I want to go. It was kind of selfish of you, don't you think? Plus, you are like never spontaneous or romantic for me, especially since we had George. And life like that can get kind of boring.
What? I buy you lots of things that you want. New clothes, jewelry. If I can afford it, then I'll get it for you. I've also taken you to lots of places and days out and weekend getaways and the like. Just because I can't afford to buy you the super expensive things that you want or take you to the most exclusive and expensive places, but I like to think that what I do for you is enough. We can't afford brands like Louis Vuitton or Gucci, and we definitely can't afford holidays to the Seychelles and places like Dubai or Bora Bora, like you want to go to. Especially with George to look after now, and think about in all of our plans. Having children is expensive, but it's definitely worth it. As for being spontaneous and romantic, I'm always asking you if you like to go away for little mini breaks, and I'm always buying you little gifts like flowers or chocolates and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's not really what I want, is it? Maybe if you actually tried to do something with your life instead of working a simple, low-paying 9-to-5 job, I wouldn't have gone looking for someone better. Instead, I'd have to go and find someone who will actually treat me right. Someone who will do what I want and buy me what I want. Oh, yeah, and just barging in on me and Jack like that, only to throw him out of the house without his clothes? I mean, that was an incredibly horrible thing to do. You don't just do that to people.
Molly, I had every right to do that. You were going behind my back in the worst way possible. You're my wife. How could you do that to me?
Well, I mean, is it really that difficult to understand why?
What do you mean?
Fine, I'll spell it out for you. You are just so incredibly boring and dull. And that would be okay if you had money, because then I could go off and entertain myself by going shopping or having spa days, or whatever whilst you looked after George. But you're not even rich. I mean, honestly, what kind of idiotic woman would actually want to stay with a penniless, boring loser who can't even afford to buy his wife a diamond necklace, just to show that he loves her? And the fact that you have no money means that I'm often having to look after George because we can't afford a nanny. Do you know how tiring that is? And how time-consuming? I can't even go and get my nails done anymore because George won't sit still for long enough. I can't deal with it anymore. You really should have seen this coming.
If you hate me so much, why'd you bother agreeing to marry me in the first place?
Well, I thought that maybe you would rise in the ranks of your job to a high-paying position. Then I could have had the lifestyle that I want.
So, you were literally only with me for the money?
Yeah, pretty much.
You were seriously unbelievable. After everything I've done for you, I gave up the chance to go traveling and have an adventure simply because you said it would be better to get a job so that we could get a house and settle down. You knew that it was my dream to do that, to see the world. I even asked you to come with me. How's that for spontaneity? Not to mention George. How are we going to explain all of this to him?
Well, if I had known that you would just remain a lowly, underpaid loser, I wouldn't have bothered wasting my time being with you. And as for George, he'll come live with me, of course. I am his mother.
I don't think so. He's my son too, so if I have to fight you for custody, I will.
Well, you'll be for a big fight then. I'll happily take you to court over this.
Well then, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Until then, you can move out of my home. I'll keep George here as it's a more stable environment than whatever random guy you end up with.
I don't think you're keeping the house. I am.
Actually, I'm the one who's been paying the mortgage and all of the bills, so it's actually mine.
I don't think so. The courts will definitely side with me on this one, especially considering I'll have custody of George as well. You know, being the woman and all, they won't throw me out onto the streets, especially because I have no job. They'll let me keep the house whilst you continue to pay for it. LOL.
You really think they'll do that?
Yep. My friend Charlotte did the exact same thing as me, and she got to keep her husband's house. He's still paying for it now, and she gets alimony off of him. It's like the perfect way to have a luxurious lifestyle without having to lift a finger.
You're a horrible woman. I can't believe I didn't see it before. All those years trying to please you and make you happy, and you couldn't have cared less about me. Do you even care about George at all?
Of course I do. Anyway, let's face it. You're not the brightest crayon in the pack, are you? I've been cheating on you with Joe for at least 4 months now, and you didn't even notice. It's kind of sad, really. Yep, that's right. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I just thought I'd let you know that I've locked you out of the house, so don't even bother trying to get back in.
Tough luck. You're not stepping another foot in my house ever again. I'll put your things on the sidewalk at some point. If you want them, you better be quick to get them.
You can't do that, especially with George about.
George can stay at the house with me.
Whatever. I'll be by later to get my things. If you don't let me in, I'll call the police and claim that you're trespassing and squatting in my house.
You do remember my friend Zach is in the police, right?
Ugh, whatever. Just know that this isn't over. The courts will decide who gets custody of George.
Then I'll fight as hard as I can to try and gain full custody on him. He'd be better off with me than with you and whatever man you decided to be with that week.
Whatever. I'm going. I'll be by to pick up some of my things in a bit. And you better let me in.
Seriously, Molly? You might have won the custody trial, unbelievably, but that doesn't mean you can just waltz into my home whenever you feel like it, especially with your new boyfriend.
The court said that I won, so it's my house, so I get to decide who lives in it and who doesn't.
You won the custody hearing, but the house was given to me because I'm the one who's been paying its mortgage. I let you stay there so that you could sort yourself somewhere new to live, and so George had a safe place to stay whilst you got sorted. But instead, you decided to move the very person you cheated on me with into my home?
Well, the house should be mine. I don't want to have to go and look for somewhere new.
Well, tough. I've been patient enough with you. I want you to get all of your things, and your boyfriend can get all of his, and I want you both out by tomorrow evening.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. This is my home, and I'm staying right here. It's the least that I'm owed for marrying you. I had hoped that by now you'd have been a rich and successful man who I could have had at least half of the money off of. But you're not. So a house is what I'll have to settle for.
Either you need to leave by tomorrow, I can stay at my mom's house tonight, or I'll call the police and have you thrown out.
Oh, please. You're just all talk. You won't actually do anything to me because you simply don't have the courage to do so. You'll just moan and whine, but ultimately, I'll win. Because I'm smarter and better than you in every way. I'll even lie if I have to. You know I can fake cry, so I'll just use that and make you look like the bad person.
Yeah, keep dreaming. It's not gonna happen.
We'll see. Though for now, it looks like you'll have to go back home to mommy and daddy. LOL.
Well, they're much nicer and kinder than you've ever been, so I don't really see how that's a loss for me.
Hey Andrew, how are you holding up?
Hey, Matthew, it's been difficult, but I finally feel like I'm starting to get back to myself again, you know? I just feel sorry for George mostly. His parents are divorced and now he's got to grow up in a broken home. Not to mention, I hardly get to see him now.
Yeah, about that.
Is something wrong?
Well, I don't know how true it is, but the other day I heard from Angela, my wife's sister and Molly's friend, that apparently George might not actually be yours.
What?
Like I said, I don't know how true it is, but apparently Molly was at a bar the other week and she was bragging about how she got you paying child support and the child wasn't even yours. She'd apparently cheated on you during your marriage.
I can't. I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe she cheated, but George not being mine?
Maybe you could do a DNA test just to make sure?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't want to upset you, but I thought you should know.
No, I'm glad you brought this to my attention. Thank you.
Well, if you ever need someone to talk to or any help at all, just let me know. I'll be right here for you.
Thank you. I might need you soon. Hey, Andrew, Mom's not happy with you. Oh, why's that? Because you've not been paying the correct child support? Yes, I have. Well, I was up until a few weeks ago. Well, why'd you stop? Mom says that she needs more money because we can't live off of what you're sending now. Well, she'll just have to get a job then, won't she? Just tell me the reason for not sending the money. Mom blames you for the lack of food. I won't pay any longer. Huh? Look, I'm sorry to tell you this, George, but I'm not gonna pay the child support because you're not actually my son. What, that can't be true. I'm afraid it is. Your mom cheated on me during our marriage, and you're the result of that. I even did a DNA test to prove it. But that's not fair. You've always been my dad. I know, and I would gladly continue being your dad, but I just know that the money I send your mother isn't actually going towards you at all, but whatever she wants. If you'd like, we can try and get the court to grant me custody of you, but I don't know if they would allow it now that I'm not your biological dad. Well, maybe we can try. I miss you and I hate living with Mom. She brings in a new guy like every week and I'm sick of it. I want my life to be normal again. Well then, we'll definitely see what we can do about that. I just need a little bit of time to sort some things out, okay? Okay, I'll talk to you soon then.
So, did George ask why the payments have stopped? And you better have a good reason.
Well, the fact that George isn't actually my son should be good enough, right?
What? What are you on about? Don't be ridiculous.
You can give it up. I know you cheated on me, and I know it resulted in George. He's not my biological son, so technically, I have no reason to pay child support for him. If you want that, you'll need to ask his father because I'm not giving you another penny.
No, that's not fair. You weren't supposed to find that out.
Maybe next time don't go blabbing about it to everyone you know then. But now that I'm not technically his dad, the courts will side with me and make it so that I don't have to pay child support.
That's not fair. I don't care what the courts say. You owe me that child support. I want that money.
Well, tough, because you're not getting any of it.
Oh, get lost. It's not fair. I never thought you'd actually figure it out. Besides, you looked after him for all this time, so that makes you responsible for him. The court will side with me.
I've done my research. According to the judge, you'll actually have to pay me back all the child support money I've given you so far. Otherwise, they'll count it as fraud and you could get into some pretty serious trouble.
They can't do that.
Actually, they can.
I can't believe you've done this to me. It's not fair.
Well, I'm afraid that's life. Anyway, I'm gonna go and celebrate. Not only do I not have to pay you a single dollar anymore, but I no longer have to stay married to such a horrible woman. You're someone else's problem now.
But now that I've lost the child support, how am I supposed to get money?
you'll have to actually get a job, or don't. I don't really care. Anyway, I've got things to do, so I'm gonna go. Keep an eye out for a court summons because there'll definitely be one over this.
Wait, I've got nowhere to go. So maybe we can just give our relationship another go? I mean, I could stay at home and we could go to a couples therapy thing.
No way. I'm really not fussed what you do now. But it for sure won't be staying with me. You show me your true colors, and I'm not about to put myself back in that horrible situation. I'm done with you. For good.
No, you can't do that. Only I can decide if our relationship is over, not you.
Well, tough. I've decided that you and I are done. I don't want anything to do with you from this point on. Goodbye, Molly. I hope you have a good life, but it won't be involving me. After that, Molly was summoned to court, but not for the reason she thought. Me and George had put together a plan so that he could stay with me. Luckily, Molly's reckless behavior in bringing random men home helped, as the judge ruled her as putting George's safety at risk. The fact that none of the child support money I'd given her had actually been spent on George helped as well. George was put into my care, and we're actually living quite happily now. As for Molly, she now has to pay me child support, which I have put away in a savings account for George to have when he's old enough. Last I heard, she had to get a job as a cleaner in order to pay for all of this, as none of her boyfriends would give her any money. I'd say I felt bad for her, but sometimes you have to face the consequences of your actions.